there's a moment in storytelling too where you can cross the line or you can hold on and restrict yourself. If you cross the line, the joke lands. If you cross the line, the connection lands. If you don't, it's awkward. Right? If you don't, it's awkward. So even if you're not the best, right? Even if you're not great, even if you're just doing it for the first time, just go all out. Because if you're going to commit to doing it, commit to doing it. If you're not going to commit, don't do it. Make sense? Yes? Because if you're not going to commit to doing it, just don't do it. If you're not at a 10, don't do it. Just don't. But the key is you need to be at a 10 because you want to do it. So you got to get yourself to a 10, and when you get up there, you got to be like, okay, I'm going to go. Or when you get in that situation, I'm going to go. I'm just going to share it. And I'm going to let go of limitations and just be it. And if you can do that, it opens up in a way that is exciting and exhilarating. And even if you don't land it like a total pro, if you went 100%, you'll still deliver it. But if you don't, it's not going to happen. It's going to feel awkward. Okay? So make sure that when you go to tell the story, when you go into the sale, when you go do whatever, you go into it fully. Not 99.9%, you go into it 100%. And that's how everything works in life, right? You got to go in 100%. Think of something in your life that you did 90% of the way, and what type of result did you get? You probably didn't even get 90% of the result. It requires 100%, 110%. You got to go in. And going in is letting go of the way you see yourself. And that's hard because that's your identity. And it's the strongest force that holds people back. Because they don't see themselves in that way. So if you don't see yourself as a storyteller, it's not consistent with your identity. And for you to behave like that because your belief is, it's not consistent with me. Your thoughts are, whoa, it's not consistent. Your feelings are, it doesn't feel consistent. Your actions are inconsistent. Making sense? Yes? So you have to be able to shift that and start seeing yourself that way before you actually go do it. Most people want to just go do it. Right? But you have to see yourself doing it. And as you see yourself doing it, it then starts to be consistent with, wow, I can do this. And then you jump in and you go. And as you go, it'll feel like a struggle at first at times. It'll feel like unnatural. That's because it is. Because you don't see yourself that way. So it's inconsistent with your identity. Is this making sense? Yes? Yes. So you have to create a new identity and a new way that you see yourself. And then when you start to do it and cross the line, you get the feeling and you get it in your body. And it's like, yes, I can do this thing. And then you'll come back the next time and your head will go again, I still don't see myself like this. And you'll have resistance to it. And that's when you got to go in. That's why you need a coach, right? In anything you're doing, that's why you need a coach. If you don't have a coach there to be there with you, to stand and be present and say, okay, let's do this thing, you can do this. Then you go back to your old pattern and you go and you say, okay, it's not consistent with me, not going to do it, I'm not a salesperson, I can't do this thing, I'm done. Oh, not consistent, I'm not a storyteller, it doesn't work for me, I won't tell the story, I'm done. Not a business owner, not an entrepreneur, it doesn't work for me, I'm done. And you keep telling yourself, I'm not an entrepreneur, you keep telling yourself, you're not a salesperson, you keep telling yourself, you're not a storyteller, and that's what you will be and not. Making sense? Yes? You have to start changing your perception of it. Is it easy? No. Because you've been living this way your whole life. And this way has served you in amazing ways. It's what's gotten to you where you're at, and that's why you have the gift, and people connect with you, and they see all these great qualities in you. But this version of yourself that just showed up a second ago is different a second later. And that's what life's about. It's about growing and stepping in. It's about contributing on a bigger level. If you're not growing, you're dying. So if you want to tell the same story over and over again, it gets boring. And why does it get boring? Because it's the same thing. There's no growth. Your cells are shrinking. But if you want to tell a really great story and you want to challenge yourself every time and you want to practice like the best of the best do, and you do it over and over and over again, and you commit, and you do it at home, you do it wherever you're at, you do it live in front of people, you do it in your sleep, you do it till you become the best at it. And that's why you're playing this game, because if you're not playing the game to be the best, you shouldn't be a coach. You shouldn't. Not playing the game to be a best, you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. The best of the best were chosen to come here and be in this space and be coaches. You chose to be here at this time. It's your destiny. You're here for a reason, to be the best, your best, right? To be your best self, your best version of you. That's all we're asking. Your best version of you. And when you show up with your best version of you, you then begin to unfold the life potential within you, and your destiny comes through you in the way it's supposed to, because you chose to be here at this time. And creation begins to live through you, and magic starts to happen. And you go from this place of isolation where, should I cross the line? Should I not cross the line? Should I cross the line? Should I not? And this narrow focus of, it's just me and I got to will myself through it, to, wow, the universe is providing, God is providing, strength is being provided, gifts are being provided in every moment, inspiration's coming through me, love's coming through me, connection, joy, happiness. Let me own all the gifts that are coming through and show up and be my best self in a way that you never could possibly imagine before, because it wasn't consistent with your identity. But now it is, because you see yourself in a way before you even do it. And even before you've done it, you've already done it, because your mind says, I'm there. Your spirit says, I'm going. And your body and your soul says, freaking A, let's do it. Yes? This is it. This is what you're here to do. Step in and own your gift. Don't turn away from it. Don't shy away from it. Own it. Give it. Give it with your heart. Give it with everything. Give it for your family. Give it for the people you love. Give it for the world. Transform this world and show up. Yes? All right.
I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of stories, and they don't move me that much, but I'm willing to play 100%. So I don't feel like I have a pit, breakthrough results, the parts that you talked about the other day. But if we have to tell the truth and we have to make it relevant to what we're selling, how can we do it if we don't really have one?
You have a pit. You're just not willing to look at it.
I'll look. I don't know where it is.
Look harder. You need to look harder.
I mean, a pit and a breakthrough and results, I just don't see those. Results to me would be like I'm a best-selling author. But I'm not there.
Have you ever had a heartache in your life?
Heartache?
Heartache. Have you ever been sad?
Sure, but that has nothing to do with what I'm selling.
What do you sell?
I'm helping people write books.
Do you think people who don't write books and who aren't living their passion and their mission get sad because they're not living their mission, getting their message out there? It's the part where you nod your head.
I'm lost. I'm not tracking. Sorry.
People, has anybody here ever had this feeling inside you that you want to get something out? And maybe because you're not able to do it, you might get frustrated or sad. You'd have a lot more clients if you started telling your story.
I still don't see what my breakthrough is, though, or my results, if that's part of the whole story process.
Maybe that's what you need to break through in. The fact that you can't see it.
Well, who's going to help me see it if I
We're
don't
going to do
see
an
it?
exercise this afternoon
Okay.
that will help you, right? And as you start going into your story, it's there. You've had moments where you've felt maybe sad or disappointed in building your business, where you felt maybe like you weren't having the progress you wanted. And did you write books because what? You've written a book yourself?
Well, I can give you a teeny bit of a story. I did write books for many years and tried to find an agent and get them published, and I didn't.
And how did you feel when you didn't?
I felt like I wasn't living my life's mission,
Yeah.
which I felt was to write.
It felt was to write. And when you felt like you weren't living your life's mission, what did you feel?
What else is there for me?
What else is there for me? And when you felt like there's nothing else for me, or you asked the question of what else is there for me, what were you feeling? Were you feeling upset?
Defeated.
Defeated. What else?
Hopeless.
Hopeless. What else?
Purposeless.
Purposeless. So do you think any of your audience members are going through the same thing, or your potential clients? Do you think
Yes.
do you think they should hear that?
I don't know. I mean, it
Does-
feels like
does-
I'm bringing them
hold on
down.
One sec. Hold on one sec. Does everybody here think she should share that?
Doesn't that bring
Yeah.
other people down if you, no? Oh,
It relates and connects.
they say, oh yeah, I feel that way. Is that what is that what the connection's supposed to be?
Yes. Yes, I've felt like that too. That's it. I felt like that too. When you share that, when you just said I felt hopeless and I felt this, like we all sat there and we were like, we felt a connection to you. And I've spoken to you many times. This is the first time I felt a connection. Right? And I feel empathy for you too. Right? So it's good. It's a connection.
So is that the pit
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
didn't get published?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what's
you're
the
right.
breakthrough?
Well, the breakthrough is what happened after that. So eventually, did you come out of the feeling
Well,
hopeless?
I guess what happened was I found out that I wasn't getting my books published, so I'd write for other people, and I became a ghostwriter.
Oh, and you became a ghostwriter and you got clients.
Yeah, and the first book I ghost wrote won the San Diego Book Award. I guess that's a
So let me
result.
ask you, where's the breakthrough?
But I still want to write my own books.
But that's your story. You had a breakthrough there.
Yeah.
You did something that the people that you want to work with haven't done yet. You went through the path that they went on. You felt what they may be feeling. You had a breakthrough to write the books and get the San Diego Award, which many people would want to get. That's your story. And most people tend to look, and maybe you're looking for right now, like too hard for the truth that's right there in front of you, which is, that's the story. If you just sat there and connected with somebody in the hallway when we do this networking session, and you say, hey, this is what I do, and you share a little bit about who you are, and you tell them, hey, and somebody tells you, I want to write a book, and you say, I went through it. I remember when I was just feeling really hopeless about being able to get my voice out there in a book, and I wanted to do it more than anything. It was my passion to be heard and share. And I couldn't figure it out, and I was struggling. And one day, I just decided to sit down and write, and I did it, and I wrote my first one. And then sooner or later, I had the breakthrough of getting the San Diego Award. And now I'm doing XYZ, and I'm teaching other people to do that. And as they're listening to the story, somebody might say, wow, I'm thinking about writing a book. And you say, oh, that's really great. Maybe you and I could set up a 45-minute free strategy session, and I could give you some tips and ask you some questions, and there might be a possibility that we could do some work together. But if there's not, that's cool too.
Thank you.
Give her a round of applause. One day, I'm sitting on my living room couch, and I hear this car coming up the driveway, and the wheels are screeching. And I look outside the window, and I see my dad coming into the house, and he opens the door, he slams the back door, he goes into the house, walks into the kitchen, and I hear this bickering going on between my mom and my dad. My dad comes out of the kitchen, comes storming into the living room. And if you can imagine hearing these words come out of your father's mouth. Your mother and I are getting a divorce. We don't love each other anymore, and we don't love you. And as a 6-year-old kid, I was crushed. I made a decision at that age, although it was unconscious, I made a decision, I'm not worthy of love. Love isn't my birthright, I have to earn it. So at 6 years old, I became an achiever. I put my head down, said, I'm going to work. I'll prove that I'm worthy of love. And I went out there, and by the time I started my professional life at 21 years old, I started with a company called New York Life. And my boss who hired me, his name's Mo Abdu, 5'5", Egyptian, built like a brick shithouse, black hair, walks in through the door, looks at me, he's like, you. I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, you. I believe that you can do 6 figures in this business in your first year. I'm like, okay. Because all I really wanted was his approval. So I just put my head down, and I went. 18, 19, 20-hour days, 5, 6, 7 days a week, whatever it took, I just put my head down and I ran. And sure enough, 12 months later, I'm sitting in my office one day, I get the news, we just cracked 6 figures. And as I'm standing there waiting for my life to change, I don't really feel anything. And so I said, oh, I got it. That's right. I need to go out and celebrate, because that's how it's done. I'll go celebrate, I'll have a good time, I'll go pick up my friends, it'll all change. So I get in my car, and I'm making some money at the time. I got this black Mercedes, 4 doors, black leather interior, black tinted window. I speed off in my car. I go pick up my friends at their house, and my cousin Ray, he's stumbling out of the front door with a bottle of vodka. My friend Mark and Carlos get in the back seat, and we all get into the car, and we zoom off to the club. And we pull up to this club. It's called Roxy. And it's the hot club in Orlando at the time. And there's this line around the corner. And as we pull up in the car, I get out of the car, I start walking up the steps, and there's this big guy up there, the bouncer. His name's Donnie. Black suit, white shirt, black tie, spiked hair. I'm like, hey, Donnie, what's happening, man? He's like, hey, Ted, how many bottles tonight, man? 1, 2. I'm like, Donnie, we're going big, man. Crack 6 figures. Give us 5, brother. And so Donnie says, come on in, welcomes us in. You walk in, and you see beds everywhere, 5 beds, platinum trays, bottles of Grey Goose with the orange symbol on the outside, my drink of choice. And my friends walk in, and Carlos is in the corner, and he's chatting up the ladies, and Mark and Ray, they're laughing hysterically, telling jokes. And there I am, sitting down right on the bed, bottle of vodka in front of me, pouring my drink, Grey Goose, soda, splash of orange, 2 straws, and I am 5 drinks in 30 minutes. And now I'm really flying. I mean, after 5 drinks, I'm flying. And then 60 minutes in, I'm 10 drinks in. I'm wobbling around the club. I'm walking around. I see Carlos in the corner, and he's over there with these ladies, a beautiful blonde on one arm and this gorgeous Persian girl with a black dress on the other. And I walk up, I'm like, ladies, what's happening? Carlos, what are you doing, man? He's like, man, I'm entertaining the ladies. I'm like, what is that? He's like, Ted, that's ecstasy. And I said, give me 2 of those. And I popped them. And 10 minutes later, I'm really flying because I just want to feel something for the first time. And I'm feeling, man. I'm flying throughout the club. And all my friends are like, hey, man, we got 45 minutes left, 45 minutes to the end of the night. I'm like, no way. This is the night I've been waiting for. We're going. We're going to the next club. And the club closes, and we get in the car, and we zoom off to the next club, and we get there, and it says H2O on the outside in fluorescent writing. Because it's a club that doesn't serve any alcohol. People just do drugs there. So we walk into the club, and the music is banging. The light show is like something out of a science fiction movie. And I walk in, and there's beautiful people everywhere. Everybody's ripped out of their mind, including me. And Carlos is sitting right down on the bench. And I walk over, I'm like, Carlos, what are you doing? He's like, shh. I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like, shh. I'm like, everybody can hear you, man. We're in a club. I mean, what are you doing? And he looks at me, he's like, Ted, you want some? I'm like, what is that? And he takes this little bullet out of his hand, and I look in there, there's white stuff in there, and I grab it, it's cocaine, and I go, woo! And now I'm like hitting a 10. I'm ascending at a level 10. I'm like, my hands are in the air. I'm reaching for the ceilings. I'm about to touch the stars. And as I'm reaching and dancing around, all of a sudden, the lights go on. And all the life force goes out of my body. I can't feel anything. And somehow I get home that night, and it's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm in the shower, and my body's completely numb. And I'm freezing to death in this hot shower. And I get out of the shower, and I wrap this long white towel around my body. And I start walking through the living room. And I see the kitchen. And so I walk sideways into the kitchen, and I step on the tile floor, and it's really cold. And I fall down to the floor, and I'm shivering because I can't get my body heat back. And I'm curled up in the corner, up against the cabinets because I'm freezing to death. And all I can feel is something coming up in my body, and I start to put my hand on my head because I can feel my soul coming out of the top of my head. No, 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 no. And I see the shadow out of the corner of my eye. It's my big brother Tucker coming through the room. Ted, are you okay? I gotta go get an ambulance. I gotta get an ambulance. Tucker, no, please don't leave me. Ted, I gotta go get help. I gotta get help. Tucker, I'm dying. And it goes black. And the next morning, I wake up, I'm miraculously revived. Now you think I got the lesson. I stopped doing drugs, but I continued to drink. And I figured, oh, I got it. I just need to go make partner now. When I make partner with the company, everything will change. That's the missing ingredients. So I put my head down, and sure enough, I work 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20-hour days again. 5, 6, 7 days a week. Head down, locked in on a goal for years to come. And now, 7 years later, I'm 28 years old. It's June 30th, 2005. I'm standing on the top floor of the SunTrust building, looking out over the horizon with the sun setting. And I'm waiting on the news. Because this is the day that everything is going to change. And my assistant, she walks up. She has this big yellow envelope. She says, Ted, I have the news. And I said, just set it right down there on the desk. She puts it down. I grab the yellow envelope. I look at this big black stamp on the outside that says New York Life. And as I'm about to open the envelope, I'm envisioning people running in to the office, carrying me out on their shoulders, champagne bottles being cracked everywhere in this massive celebration. And I open up the envelope, I take the white sheet of paper out, and I look on the first line and I don't see my name. Look down to the second line. No name. Third line, no name. Fourth line, no name. And I look down to the fifth line and I see Ted McGrath, number 5 partner out of 500 partners for the number 1 life insurance company in the country. And upon getting the news, I'm so not excited. I feel a bubble of excitement that I'm trying to fan to come up. And the more I try and focus on the excitement, the more I get this other feeling that I just don't like. And the more I resist that feeling, the stronger it gets, the stronger it gets, the stronger it gets, till I feel this lava and this burning feeling, like lava at the base of a volcano right in my stomach. And it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and I feel this piercing feeling in my chest. And then I get this rush of heat up through my face, and my face goes bright red, and then it goes flushed and white, and I hear this pop. And then I hear this voice. Is this all there is? And I walked over to the ledge right outside in my office. And I'm looking out, thinking to myself, no matter what I do, I can't win. I just need to end this thing. So I turn around, I walk into the New York Life office, I hand in my resignation letter, and I never return again. And I figure, hey, I'll move out to California. All the beautiful people, my problems will leave me behind, everything will change. And I move out to California, I move into this beautiful condo, and there I am, starting up 2 businesses, still partying, still drinking, blowing through all my money, sitting on my couch, a couple houses in foreclosure, thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to do with my life? Now, I wish I could tell you what happens next is the seas parted and the heavens opened and the thunder roared and the mountains crumbled and all of a sudden it came down from the heavens and all my answers were solved. But what really happened was I got an email. And the email came in and it said, change your life, change your patterns, change your behavior. And I'm looking at the email and I'm like, click, 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 click. And this video comes up and there's this guy and he's talking about change your patterns, the science behind unlocking human potential. I can help you change your life. And I'm like, bye, 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 bye. Because at this point, I'll try anything. And the video pops up. And this video starts taking me through this process to where I'm going to this peaceful place. And I'm going to this place of sunsets and waterfalls and beaches and just this really quiet place. And I realize, wow, I don't think I've been to a peaceful place my entire life. And then the next image comes up, and there I am. It's me. And they have me imagining my best self coming towards me. And so I get this image of me more powerful, more inspired, more loving, more caring, more vibrant, more connected, more dynamic, more happy. And I realize, wow, I've been on vacation from this guy for a long time. And then the question, what is the problem? And it goes whoosh, and I feel this stinging right in my chest. And then I see these images come up, and I see this image of my grandmother. And I see that she was an alcoholic, and we lost her. And then I see this image of my Aunt Judy, and I see that she drank herself to death. And at 49 years old, she died. And I see this image of my mom, and she was never a drinker, and she became an alcoholic. And all the images phase away, and I'm left with this image of me at 6 years old, sitting on the living room couch. And for the first time, I finally saw the truth. And I fell down to my knees. And I see this image of my dad walking into the living room when I was 6 years old. And what I heard him say was, your mother and I are getting divorced. We don't love each other anymore, and we don't love you. But what he really said was, your mother and I are getting a divorce. We don't love each other anymore, but we love you very much. And it was like Niagara Falls, tears streaming down my body. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. And from that day on, everything began to change in my life. I stopped drinking. Will never drink again. My dynamics in my relationship with my family changed. My business exploded. All because of breaking through what was stopping me from showing up in my full potential. What's stopping you?